in the game, so let me go ahead and introduce these two players. Spawning up in the top left position, we have got the blue Terran player from FM Esports, RazerBlader. And down in the bottom right, the red Terran, his opponent from Up and Coming Gaming Academy, it is Hood.
Yeah, what I've heard about Hood's team, they're Portuguese, right?
I think so. Hang on, let me just check the information, because of course we do have all of this sort of fancy stuff coming up. But yeah, I think he is, as I try and find it. Yep, yeah. He is definitely Portuguese.
And this is like one of the biggest and up-and-coming clans in all of Portugal, so, Hood's, he's in the right place, for growing as a player, and he's actually competing at a DreamHack. We'll just see how this TBT goes. Like I said, both these players are Master League level. And I'm excited. TBT there are a lot of new builds coming out. Before the whole game was developed around the Hellbad drop, and with that nerf, will players be just delaying the drops and mixing in Blue Flame? And we're actually seeing, similar builds from both players going to the racks on 12 and 13 gas follow-up.
Yeah, these kind of similar, very safe opening builds. It's probably going to be Reapers most likely because, let's face it, Star Station has a huge amount of cliff area that you can utilize with those Reapers. You can poke in, get some scouting information. Whether they get just the one out, we'll have to wait and see, but I'm personally a big fan of just the single Reaper. I think after their massive changes with Heart of the Swarm, trying to get out more than that, they don't really scale that effectively. The benefit doesn't really outweigh the cost and the delays in other parts of your build, so wait to see what's going to be happening there. RazerBlader is checking round for proxies, interestingly, so definitely a little bit nervous.
No, I agree with you for the most part on the Reaper thing. This is actually one of the better maps, though, for the 5 Reaper rush. Where you get a second racks, you go up to 5 Reapers. There's so many cliffs you can jump up. The base has so many places where the Reapers can just hop into. And there we go, seeing a second racks here from RazerBlader. So he will be committing to more Reapers. And this goes unscouted, which it looks like it's going to for the time being for Hood. He is building a Reaper of his own, so hopefully he'll be able to scout this. You get caught down and you're being too greedy with your tech. You only have a few Marines out. The Reapers can just straight up win you the game.
Now, that is a nice strategy, but let's talk about what that does to kind of the later stages of your build. If you are pumping out that many Reapers, you've got these 2 racks down early, your tech is going to be heavily delayed, and because of that, Hood, if he identifies this quickly and puts up a good defense, doesn't lose too much, then if he pumps out some tech, it can be really good, but he's going for the command center. Ooh, this is going to be difficult, especially when he's got the Reaper coming out. The Reactor coming out. Just the one Reaper on the field will spot the other one, but no idea that they're going to be 2 pumping out at a time from RazerBlader. And this is something Hood does need to see pretty quickly, or he could start running into some problems.
He's going to be producing a lot of Marines out of this reactor, as you can tell from the command center and the factory being so delayed because he went for the command center before. This is the 4GG style opener where you get the really quick reactor and you start pumping out lots and lots of Marines. And he's going to keep delaying this command center. Going to go in for another kill here. The Reaper for Hood has less health. Second Reaper showing up for RazerBlader right now, going to increase that harassment potential. And so far for defense, Hood's just about to have 2 more Marines pop out. But if you whittle them down and then you jump out with your Reapers and heal up, it's really hard for Hood to try and keep up with this aggression.
Now, RazerBlader is trying his utmost to pick up these things. Does get a Reaper kill. We'll be able to run away now. The Marines, of course, are going to be the threat. We've got 2 more Reapers on the way over for RazerBlader, but Hood is about to finish up his command center. His first Hellions are coming down, and that's going to really help him with this defense. RazerBlader needs to do some more damage, needs to keep up the harassment, but importantly needs to conserve his units. That's the big thing about this sort of opening. If you've got the units up and don't let them fall, then obviously you can keep poking in like this and just really force your opponent to turtle up. A couple of SCVs are going to go down here. The Marines can even get engaged with this position, but of course the Reaper's got to be careful of the Hellions that are making their way in now, because they can get some really nice shots off. But the SCV's getting pulled, a few more going down. The Mule even trying to get focused, but is able to stay alive. But still, lots of lost mining time here, Zoya.
6 Harvesters have been killed this game. RazerBlader, his command center is being built into an orbital command right now. Both players just doing pretty well so far. Now, if I want to say, I definitely want to say that RazerBlader has gained an advantage off this aggression. Look at the Harvesters had is 25-19, and more damage is going to keep being done. A key thing to note is in Wings Liberty, with the reverse damage they had before, they would actually beat a Hellion in a 1 versus 1, but not anymore. That's not the case anymore. 1v1, Reaper versus a Hellion. Hellion will win now. So if there's multiple Hellions out on the field, that will be really hard for RazerBlader to make this work. His army's in a good position here, but it's going to take down one of the Reapers initially and force RazerBlader out of there. The defense is just a little too strong right now. The good thing about what RazerBlader is doing, though, is this is constant scouting, but it's also keeping Hood back home. So RazerBlader knows that there's zero potential for anything coming at him right now. He can be as greedy as he wants back home.
And that's a really important thing for him, because while the Reapers haven't done huge amounts of damage, yes, they've killed 6 workers, but I think that entire point that Hood's being forced to stay back and defend just means RazerBlader is being so greedy. He's getting up his starboard now, he's already flying down his natural. So that's ahead now of Hood, who went for a much earlier command center construction, but obviously the mining base is going to be coming down a lot quicker for RazerBlader. Hood, all he's got to be careful of is being too defensive at this point. Obviously the defense is critical, but now he's held it off. He needs to identify that this push isn't going to be coming back, and he's now got to play a bit greedy himself. He's got to start taking up. Stim is miles behind for Hood. Stim is already finishing up for RazerBlader, and it's only about third done for Hood at the moment. Starport as well, only just starting as it finishes for RazerBlader. Small little leads that are actually going to make a big difference in the mid-game.
Reaper does confirm for RazerBlader that Hood is taking his expansion right now. Income tab, 9 in favor of our blue Terran player RazerBlader. He's getting a tech lab on that factory, going to start building some siege shanks as the reactor on the starport, going to start pumping out those medevacs. And with those first 2 medevacs, we should be seeing some form of push here from RazerBlader. And like you said, Stim's already done for RazerBlader. He's got +1 attack on the way. Engineering bay is just starting for Hood, and he's doing nothing with his factory. No siege shanks on the way. Looks like he's just now replacing it. If there's a timing here with the first medevacs, he might hit before any siege shanks around. He might just be able to stim move in with +1 attack and possibly just break this natural.
Yeah, that's the big thing. The +1 is going to be critical, because that hasn't even started yet for Hood. RazerBlader will have it done by the time he gets across the map if he moves out with those first 2 medevacs and delays it just a little bit. He'll also have combat shield kicking in too, but that's actually a massive push advantage. If you've got that combat shield, if you've got the medevacs out, it's going to be really tough for Hood, who is just behind in, dare I say it, every aspect of the game at the moment. The tech, the army size, and also the economy.
Oh, I agree with you completely. RazerBlader is looking really solid going into this mid-game. He's got a 3rd command center on the way. He's got siege shanks following up. This is a really powerful timing. He's going to have +1 attack and combat shields. Again, no siege tanks in sight. Stim is done for both players. But the advantage in both health and upgrades. And here we go, big stim coming from RazerBlader. Hood is not reacting with his own stim, and there he goes, finally getting it down here. He had a bigger army, it looked like, and a better arc. Maybe if he would have stimmed right off the bat, that could have been a little bit better for him, but now he just lost more than half of his supply there. 80 supply to 53 now. RazerBlader taking a big lead in this game. He's going to turn down this command center. It does get canceled, and the bunker is being repaired. RazerBlader going to pick up all these Marines. Will he go for the drop or just go back home? It looks like he is going to do a slight drop here, but a big win right there for RazerBlader.
Yeah, that engagement, brilliant for him. If Hood had stimmed earlier, maybe it would have gone a bit different, because the attack arc was definitely better for Hood. But of course, RazerBlader, he had combat shield, he had +1, so that makes a nice little difference. But the drop is coming down. Quite a potent drop, especially when you consider that Hood has only got 11 Marines on the field as a whole, and is not in a position to defend this. Here comes the stim forward, a couple of Marines sitting around. The Widow Mine could be critical, needs to be careful here. RazerBlader does pick up, and will get straight out of there, seeing that Widow Mine, seeing a good number of Marines, and I think that's good. He needs to be safe here, that's the critical thing. In terms of the worker count, he's up by 11 too, so RazerBlader, he's got a good economy to fall back on. He's got these tanks, and is now going for round 2 of this nice little push.
Yep, pushing really, really well here. The one thing I don't like about that drop that RazerBlader just did is he didn't wait for the medevac to heal up all his Marines. He let one of them heal up and he just kind of stimmed and attacked in, so a lot of his Marines were like red health. Feel like could have done a lot more damage if he would have, healed himself up just a little bit. But +1 attack just now finishing for Hood. He's got his armor on the way. Both players have their armor on the way. 2nd engineering bay and armory finishing up RazerBlader. So 2-2 will be started about at the same time for both players. But like you said, the economy is better. There's more siege tanks here, and here comes that push. 1 siege tank's just now popping out here for Hood. He immediately sieges it up, using the medevac for high ground vision, and the 2 siege tanks are in range of that 1 siege tank, and immediately falls. Sitting forward here, the bunker does fall. A lot of SCVs, command centers being targeted down. Here comes Hood charging down the ramp. The siege tanks just devour everything. Hood down to 68 supply. RazerBlader looking like he's in a great position to take game number 1.
He is taking a little bit of counter pushing, because Hood has gone for a drop into the main base, but I just don't think it's going to be enough here. RazerBlader is pushing up the ramp. He's already doing some good damage. Hood there with the GG, and RazerBlader takes game number 1 of this best of 3.